Brakati Hawa, Brakati Hawashai, Brakati Hawa, Brakati Hawashai, Brakati Hawa, Brakati Hawashai. Call Allah Hawa by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, recall Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, which are a great millstone. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity. And those who putting their videos up throughout the week to feed the sheep. It's Makwa, for the jump in the VA camp. And I'm going to get right into it. So, it says luck may be the only thing standing between the coronavirus and a U.S. stock market crash. It says the slowdown in Chinese manufacturing and ripple effects on global supply chains will hit the global economy hard. Even if a recession can be avoided, if the outbreak cannot be contained by the summer, a crash worse than 2008 crisis awaits America's inflated asset markets. It says China's manufacturing sector will take quite some time to get back to normal. The global supply chain is being disrupted, triggering produce stoppages and other industrial centers. China will at least struggle through this month. At the least, it's saying at the least. It says the odds are high and are rising that the coronavirus crisis will last through March, which may be enough to push the global economy into a recession. There is a significant chance that the crisis will last until summer. The economic disruption may pack enough of a punch to pop the biggest global bubble centered around the U.S. stock market in modern history. It says the coronavirus outbreak appears much more serious and more likely to persist than appeared to be the case just 2 weeks ago. And on top of that, it's another part in I think it was South China where some lady was spreading the coronavirus in church because she didn't show symptoms, but she still had it. So it spread through like hundreds of people inside the church, and the people got in church, so they went home, they went to their families, and then their friends, and then their friends went home to their families. So this is out of control right now. But it says, in addition to disrupting the services sector at an estimated cost of over 0.5% of gross domestic product per week, the manufacturing sector may not be able to get back to normal before at least the end of February. So that means at the least at the end of February, right? So that means things will have to get back to normal really, really fast and stop. And then at the least by February, things will be back to normal. But as you heard, as I just said, the coronavirus just spread to a whole nother part of China, and there's literally no way to contain that part as of yet right now. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get it real quick.
Do not enter reads the note on the entrance of the Church of Jesus, the Temple of the Tabernacle of the Testimony in Daegu, South Korea. The streets of the nation's fourth largest city have been all but abandoned after what authorities describe as a super spreading event of the coronavirus at the church. The city's mayor told residents to stay indoors after 90 people who worshipped at the church showed symptoms of infection and dozens of new cases were confirmed. The church had been attended by a 61-year-old woman who tested positive, known as Patient 31. 23 cases of South Korea's newly diagnosed 31 cases on Thursday were linked to the church, which has since shut the Daegu branch and called for other branches to hold their services online or at home. Korea's Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the coronavirus epidemic is an unprecedented crisis. South Korea now has 104 confirmed cases and has reported its first death. International authorities are trying to prevent the outbreak from spreading into a global pandemic. Japan on Thursday reported that 2 elderly people from a cruise ship moored near Tokyo had died of the virus. Chinese officials have been pointing to evidence that new cases were...
China's update raised the number of people who have died from the coronavirus in mainland China to more than 1,800 and the total number of confirmed cases to more than 72,000. 14 Americans infected with the coronavirus were flown into the country Monday. That nearly doubles the number of cases in the U.S. Those new victims coming from a cruise ship in Japan, and authorities did not detect the infections until the last minute. Now Chinese health officials releasing the first analysis on all the victims. The findings, about 2.3% of coronavirus victims die, making it more dangerous than the seasonal flu. Most who succumb to the disease, about 60%, are in their 60s or older. More than half. The crisis. The lead pastor of Root and Fruit Christian Church in Wuhan, Wang Li, says no meetings are allowed because of the lockdown, so churches are meeting online.
It is just not our own ideas for protection. It is also a hard rule by the government. No more physical meetings are allowed.
Churches in China and around the world called for 3 days of fast.
애들이 이상하게 봐요. 굉장히 미친 짓 아니냐, 왜 그렇게 하냐, 너는 그런 사람이 좋냐, 너는 2번 만난 사람이 좋냐.
So it's nowhere near stopping, and it's like it just is getting worse. So went from announced in South Korea. So it says disruption in March looks increasingly likely. The longer the crisis lasts, the more likely is a global recession. Over the past 2 decades, global supply chains have come to rely on China for cheap components for automobiles and electronics to shoes and garment. Sourcing materials and components from China is vital to keeping the global economy humming. If China cannot get back to normal soon, the disruption may push the global economy into a recession. Many migrant workers, the main labor force for the factory sector, return to the major production centers like Shanghai and Shenzhen last week. This is already 1 week beyond the normal Lunar New Year holiday. Normal precautions require these workers to be quarantined for 2 weeks. If everything works out perfectly, China's manufacturing could get back to normal by the end of February. Under above best case scenario, the global economy may avoid a recession, but a significant hit is unavoidable. China's economy is obviously contracting, even though official statistics won't show it. It says the financial ramification will be a significant drag for many quarters to come. China's local government and businesses have been struggling against high leverage amid slowing growth. A big hit like this will force many to retrench. So this thing isn't going, if it doesn't stop soon, the recession is almost 100% likely. Now, we already knew that the recession was going to come, the dollar was going to drop, and they're going to have to move into a whole new system. Okay? Move into a whole new system. And we know the mark of the beast is going to come. Okay? So for all we know, this could lead into that. Right? But with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, Adawan Ratazah Thumb, Tamayim Akim Yakal. Shalom.